Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I've just bought this 2012 Mercedes C250 CDI from a YouTube viewer up in Leeds. I went up there this morning with my brother to collect it, and I've just this minute got back, and so far I'm quite pleased with it. So thanks Mohammed for getting in touch. I'm always looking to buy fresh stock, so if you've got something, email me, Matt with 2 T's at highpeakautos.com. Now onto this car in particular. I've paid £5,350 for it, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to spend maybe £1,000 on it, and it should be worth somewhere between £7,500 or £8,000, so there should be a decent profit margin in it. As it currently stands, it's in quite good condition already, but it does need a little bit of TLC in various places. I quite like this era of Mercedes C-Class, especially from 2012 onwards, because they come with some nice features such as Bluetooth audio. My plan with this one then is to run it straight to SPR, who are a Mercedes specialist over in Stockport, and I always use them and I always recommend them. They're really good at what they do. So I'm going to run it straight there for an engine service and a gearbox service. Then I'll MOT it. It needs a very good valet, and it also needs the wheels refurbishing. And there are a couple of other things as well. In fact, I may as well show you, hadn't I? Let me find somewhere to park up and I'll give you a quick tour. Here we'll do then. It's quite a good spec, this car as well, or it's quite an interesting spec, should I say, because it's got some features that I wouldn't really expect, and then it's missing some quite obvious ones. I suspect it's been somebody's company car. They've had a budget and they've just picked the things which they thought to be important. So we've got satellite navigation, we've got an electric adjustable steering column here. Now this is one of the faults actually. It works in and out, but not up or down. It's making the sounds like it wants to, but nothing happens. We've got electric memory seats, but they're not heated. Now I'd have had them heated personally. And there's no sunroof. I'd have probably gone with a sunroof and heated seats. We've got power fold mirrors, and they're auto dimming as well. Let me give you a tour of the outside. By the way, in case you're wondering, it's done 84,000 miles and it's got loads of service history. So it's not particularly high for one of these. There it is. It's silver, it's got the AMG style wheels. Unusually as well, the driver's seat bolster isn't all ripped. They always seem to rip here and occasionally here. But this one's fairly solid. Got the original mats. It just needs a good old clean. Not too bad though, is it really? Tyre wise, we've got Goodyear on the back on about 5mm of tread. The wheels, I mean, they'd look a whole lot better clean, wouldn't they? The whole car just wants a good digging out really. It's originally from London with its LL plate. It's the C250, so I think it's 201 horsepower. It's a slightly higher horsepower model. Yeah, a couple of little chunks out of the, well actually it's all the way around the outside, so they do need to be refurbished. The brake discs are quite good on the front, I think. I think the rear might need changing. Quite good looking cars though, aren't they? Quite aggressive in the styling. A couple of little marks here which I'll just touch in carefully. I'll get some brilliant silver or something, whatever the paint code is. And there's a little, yeah, more damage around this wheel here. On the front we've got matching Avon tyres, and they're pretty good, they're on about 6mm. There's a mark on one of these rear doors, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the other side actually. But yeah, it's just been used by a family really, so it just wants a good old clean out. I think all these little marks will come off. Ah, that's the mark, right. So somebody's opened the door into it, so that'll come off with some T-cut, and then, no, there isn't even a dent there, you know. I was going to say I'd have to get the lads from Dents to come out and have a look at it. When I checked it out using Car Vertical, you can see it's never been stolen, the mileage is fine, there's no outstanding finance, and there's no recorded damage. It was last MOT'd at 82,000 miles, and it's fairly consistent every year. The previous owner was a school teacher, so it's only done 5,000 miles a year or something. I think, in fact, he told me that he used a car share, so it wasn't used every day even. So it's all quite good. Yeah, it's a C250, 2012, automatic. Oh, it shows us some spec here as well, hang on a minute. Speed sensitive power steering, sports seats, cruise control, multifunction steering wheel. It's got paddles as well, which I wasn't expecting. If we go down to the last MOT, it passed its MOT with no advisory items, but when it was serviced at Mercedes in April this year, they advised on something like, this sounds a bit scammy really, they advised that it needed an air conditioning service. That's just a main dealer way of getting more money out of you. And it also advised, I think, rear brake discs, so I might get those done as well. By the way, if you want to do one of these car vertical checks for yourself, and I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash for a used car or bike, use my promo code HIGHPEAK and you'll get 10% off each and every check that you do. And it really is as easy as going to carvertical.com, typing in the reg or the VIN. That's it. Sounds like we're in Wales. Right then guys, I think I'm going to crack on with the jobs on this car, and hopefully I'll have an update for you in, how long do we think? 2 weeks? It's not a big job this really. A couple of weeks. See you in a fortnight, or actually I'll see you in 30 seconds time if you're watching this. And we're back in the Mercedes C250. And at the start of this video, I can't remember if I set myself a budget. Can't quite remember, it was weeks ago. Anyway, that doesn't matter because I've completely smashed it. I don't mean the profit, by the way, I mean smash the budget. I have blown the budget. I've massively overspent. This ended up costing me quite a bit more than I'd anticipated, but it's all done now, so I'm quite pleased with the results. And it does look really good now. And I know it's been serviced, I've had the engine and gearbox serviced, done any little jobs that came up, so I can sell it with confidence. I suppose, I mean, I've done this job long enough now, that is just the way with used cars sometimes. You win some, you lose some. I think that with this car, I should still be on the right side of it. I think. I'll work out my costs later. At the end of the first part of this video, when I did a quick walk around tour of it, my engine light came on, so that was the first thing to get fixed. As soon as I stopped recording, I ran it straight to my mechanics just to make sure it wasn't doing it any harm, and it turned out it had a split boost hose or something, split turbo hose, something like that. They also needed to do a DPF regen, so that was all done, and my engine light stayed out. Then I took it down to SPR in Stockport, who are a Mercedes specialist, and I asked them to do a full engine service and a gearbox service. It did actually have a service this car not all that long ago, but I thought at least if I've done it, then I know it's been done. A couple of days later, SPR called me to say, right, the service has been done, but we've noticed your brake pipes are quite badly corroded. And unfortunately, they were too busy, they had staff off, so they couldn't do it. So I picked it up from there and took it back to my original mechanics, and they did it for me. They also noticed that the rear brake pads were getting a little bit low, so I had those changed as well. As I mentioned on the C-Class Estate video that I did recently, corroded brake pipes are quite a common issue on this era of Mercedes, and you just can't see them because they're all covered in plastic trim. You'd like to think something as serious as that is picked up when it has its MOT, but the truth is they just don't have time to check, and they're not allowed to start peeling trim back and all that sort of stuff. So it just goes unnoticed, and it's quite dangerous. Anyway, that's all been done. When that was done there, I picked it up and took it for its alloy wheels to be refurbished. They weren't too badly curbed or damaged or anything, but they just looked a bit dull. So now they've been sanded, filled, and then repainted, and they look nice and bright. It was definitely £180 well spent. When it was done there, I picked it up and took it over to Tameside Valeting for a good old clean. Again, it wasn't too bad anyway, it wasn't a dirty car, but it just looked a little bit grubby, so it's had a full, detailed clean. That cost me £70, but it was well worth it because now the seats have come up actually looking like new. And I think that's about it. It's probably been about 6 weeks since I bought this car, and I've actually been using it as a runaround vehicle really. This has been a shadow car on several videos, and it's taken me down to South Wales, down to Essex, all over the place. And there are two reasons I was using this car. One, I quite like them, they're quite reliable. But two, I wanted to make sure that the engine light didn't come back on, and it hasn't done, so it's obviously fine now. I've actually done 2,000 miles in it. And the third reason is that it's very good on fuel. Now it's all completely done, I got it back to work earlier this morning and took some photographs of it, and it's now currently live on Autotrader and on my website. I marketed it for £7,995. At this point, I'm not actually sure if that leaves me with any profit. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does. But I think now we should probably go through the costs. So I'm going to park up somewhere scenic and I'll talk you through my spend. Right then, well, this'll do. Gives us a nice view. This will knock the engine off. Right, where should we start? Well, we may as well start with the purchase price. I paid £5,350 for the car. Let me add this up as I go then. So £5,350 for the car. The alloy wheel refurbs cost me £180. The valet cost me £70.
My bill at SPR, the Mercedes Specialist, that was 561 and 60 pence. Now that was for, let me break this down for you, a B service, so a full engine service, plus a 7-speed automatic gearbox service, including all parts. Then the bill to sort the engine light out, it was a turbo boost hose, which was £63, plus the DPF regen, plus labour. So my total there was £237 and 60 pence. Not done yet, folks. Right, so what else? Then we've got the bill for the brakes. So it was brake pipes and ends, £38, rear brake pads, £39.72, the wear wire, £12, brake fluid, £19.50, and quite a bit of labour at £180. So my total there was £347 and £6. I've just remembered actually, there's one thing I haven't done. I haven't had the MOT done. It's currently got an MOT until April, so it will need to be sold with 12 months MOT, so I'll add another £40 for that. In fact, I might take this there now. So my grand total is, you ready for this? £6,786 and 26 pence. So if I get my 7,995 for it, that will leave me with a profit of 1,200 quid. Pre-tax, pre-VAT, obviously. So not as much as I'd hoped, I suppose, but still not too bad really, is it? £1,200 profit from a £6,700 outlay. Yeah, not too bad, is it? About 18%. I can live with that. Right, well on that note, I'm going to go and take this down for its MOT and then put it back on the forecourt. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. So yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.